Hello, everyone. Welcome to my forecast, and thank you so much for once again giving me this opportunity to come into your homes, and thank you for Lori for giving me this opportunity to be part of the mystical moon. Even though we are many states away, many miles away, we're all very, very much connected. And, you know, that sense of oneness, that understanding of the oneness, that we are all one, that we are all very, very much connected is actually part of what is being highlighted this month with some of our astrological energies. We have a full moon coming up this Sunday, August 10th. Right now, it is Wednesday the 6th. So we have a full moon coming up on August 10th this Sunday, and it is in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian. It's the sign of great awakenings, awareness. It's ruled by the planet Uranus, which is also a planet very, very much connected and associated with awakenings. I call Uranus the Great Awakener. Wherever Uranus passes in our charts, wherever it transits in our charts, whatever house it connects with, whatever planet it connects with in our charts, it wakes us up to those energies, to those understandings, so that we can continue becoming who it is that we are going to become, or rather evolving to become during this stage in our evolutionary experience. Our full moon, as I said, it's in the sign of Aquarius. Of the many things that Aquarius does rule is aviation, airplanes, pilots. Unfortunately, we have seen some many tragic events over the last few months, especially connected with Malaysian Airlines. You know, just a few days before we had the recent Malaysian Airlines incident on July 17th, I was speaking on a radio broadcast where I was envisioning large groups of people leaving the planet. You know, and unfortunately, or spiritually, very perfectly, over the next few days after that broadcast, we had the experience of yet another incident regarding Malaysian Airlines. And you know, certainly not to ever take away from the devastation or the loss of life, or how unbelievably, unimaginably painful those loved ones who are still here, who have lost those loved ones, are having that experience. You know, spiritually understand everything really is perfect. Everything is unfolding as it sometimes needs to, you know, and sometimes in our humanness we don't always understand when something so devastating and so horrific happens. However, you know, when large groups of people leave the planet like that, spiritually and metaphysically, we understand that they really need to be of a higher place, to do what it is that they need to do to assist humanity in humanity's evolution from a higher place of consciousness and from a higher place of knowing. Again, that does not take away from the devastation of these experiences. However, you know, we always want the best for our loved ones, and if we could understand what our loved ones experience when they transition into spirit, you know, actually, quite honestly, I don't think that we really have the ability to understand, and if we did, we probably wouldn't want to be here. So, you know, if we can just continue to just send love to those experiences, whenever we see and observe something like that taking place in the world, let us just send love. Because certainly, as I'm referring to Aquarius and Uranus, we are being awakened to many things. Certainly those experiences awaken us to our higher understandings of ourselves, who it is that we are, especially on a spiritual level. You know, so let's continue to allow ourselves to be awakened to whatever it is that we need to awaken to, so that we can continue becoming who it is that we are going to become in this experience. You know, Aquarius also rules electricity, and it also deals with high levels of energy. You know, some of us who are very sensitive may be experiencing high levels of anxiety. You know, whenever we have those experiences, especially those who are very psychically connected, very psychically sensitive, we are absorbing a tremendous amount of energy. You know, and unless it's transferred to something else, it just demonstrates itself in the body as anxiety, and it can certainly be extremely, extremely uncomfortable. So if you are having any of those experiences, especially if you are in the psychic profession, you know, certainly be aware to release that energy, to let it go, to allow it to leave your body so that it doesn't interfere with your well-being. You know, and certainly it will allow you to continue doing what it is that you're doing, and also be very, very clear with that. Our full moon is also in opposition to the sign of excuse me, to the planet Mercury. Mercury is very close to the sun right now, and a full moon, the sun and the moon, there are opposite ends of the spectrum. That's a full moon. That's the energy of a full moon. They are just at opposite ends of the spectrum. At the new moon, they are very close together. They're in close proximity. With Mercury being in that position, it's also in the sign of Leo. That's a very strong connection with children and young individuals. So we may also observe some experiences taking place that are involved large groups of children. You know, hopefully they won't have to be negative experiences. So let's just continue to send love, light, and healing energy to the planet. Every day, if we can be aware to do that, to just radiate love, send love out to the planet, because quite honestly, there is such unsettlement right now. We're already, you know, seeing so much of that, and it's heightening, and it certainly can continue to heighten, especially in these next few weeks. You know, some of the experiences that we're seeing right now, especially in the Middle East, you know, some of those experiences may heighten. They may not necessarily get better before they get worse. So before anything happens, nothing's ever written in stone. You know, whenever we foresee events, whenever we foretell of something to come, we see possibilities, we see the potentials. Nothing is ever written in stone. So whenever we see something perhaps that isn't pleasant that's going to happen, whether it's out in the world, in our own lives, we can certainly have the ability and the capability to offset that energy. So let's continue just to send love and to radiate love to those parts of the world that certainly need that. You know, as I referred to earlier regarding the sense of oneness, you know, Aquarius, as I said, represents oneness, the humanitarian. It's also representing the new age, the age of, obviously the age of Aquarius, which, you know, quite honestly, we're not going to get there for a while. No one ever really knows exactly when that's going to take place. It's theorized that it takes place around the year 2135. No one really knows for sure. We still very much are in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. And this group right now in humanity, we're ushering in that state of consciousness and that state of awareness. So let's, you know, continue to allow ourselves individually to know what it is that we can do to usher in and continue facilitating that process. You know, we must continue being aware how, regardless of borders, regardless of geographical locations, we are very much one. We are not separate from one another. And unless we realize that, we will not experience peacefulness. And we need to do that, especially right now, because we can observe some very unsettling experiences over these next few weeks. So let's hope that we can offset any of that from happening. Our new moon is on August 25th, and it's in the sign of Virgo. You know, Virgo can also concentrate itself very much so with analytical energy, especially the analytical energy of the mind. And in opposition to the new moon is the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Excuse me. As I referred to earlier, a full moon energy is when a planet is in opposition, is at the opposite ends of the spectrum. I don't want to get too technical with the astrological jargon. However, just to give you a little bit of an insight to what's taking place at this new moon, with Neptune being at the opposite end of the new moon, it's creating a full moon energy. Full moons culminate and bring awareness. They will bring to fruition whatever it is that we are working towards up to that point. The polarities between the energies of Virgo and Pisces, we're giving the opportunity to really recognize and create a balance with thoughts and feelings. With Neptune transiting the sign of Pisces, the potential of psychic awareness is very, very much heightened. You know, I've always, and anyone who's ever seen me speak at one of my events, one of the first things that I like to share and say is that what I do, my psychic connections, my psychic awareness, my psychic abilities, I do not perceive it to be a gift. I believe that we are all very, very psychic. I only demonstrate this potential to the degree that I do because of what it is that I came here to do. Every one of us are very, very much connected with spirit and can be very clear in our psychic knowingness and understanding. It doesn't necessarily mean foretelling, perceiving events. The psychic faculties can demonstrate themselves in many, 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 many ways. You know, and since 2004, we've all become very aware of how psychic we can be, and that's really why there's been a surge of these programs on television with the paranormal shows, the psychic shows, because we are being given the opportunity to become aware of how every one of us is very, very psychic and very, very connected with the spirit realm. We're just not taught to recognize that and to understand that. However, because we will use this to continue creating the shifts in consciousness and evolution, we need to be aware of it. Also, too, we need to be aware that this psychic sensitivity and knowing is very much a part of each of us, and it also allows us to be very connected with one another. So at this new moon, we are being given the opportunity to recognize the depth of that understanding and how very, very psychic, if you will, we really are. However, we have to create the balance between thoughts and feelings. Thoughts connect very much with the physical realm. You know, the feelings connect very much with the spiritual realm, and we are being given the opportunity to recognize and create that balance so that we can use these psychic knowingness to certainly improve our own lives and our well-being, but also of those around us and certainly our world as well. You know, we are also going to be given the opportunity to really release anything that is any emotions that are seated very deeply within us, so that we can just cleanse and purge and let go, so that we can let go of what doesn't necessarily work for us anymore. You know, so certainly if you are recognizing conditions, emotions, feelings within yourself that just don't necessarily serve a purpose anymore, lovingly let them go so that you can continue allowing yourself to move forward in your own personal journey, not only for yourself but for your loved ones and very much for those around us. You know, I'm also going to suggest that we take a little bit of time at this new moon and to connect with the energy of the earth. You know, in the chart, the new moon chart cast for the United States, we have the sign Libra rising in the chart of the new moon for the United States. The sign Libra is very connected with nature and the natural world. It's theorized that Libra is what rules the earth. It's the rising sign of the chart of the earth, if there is a chart for our planet. You know, and with that energy, we're very much given the opportunity to connect with the natural world. You know, for me, spirit is very present in nature. If you want to call it God, that energy is also very, very present in the natural world. And when we allow ourselves to walk very peacefully in nature, we connect with spirit. So I would suggest to really allow yourself to do that at the time of the new moon, and maybe integrate and incorporate those energies into your own personal lives and experiences, not only for yourself, again, for your loved ones, but also for the world around us. Let's be very aware also, too, how we are connected to the world and to the natural world, and how the natural world is also very much a part of us as well. We're not separate from that either. So let's make it something for us to just be very, very aware of as we go through this time, around the time of the new moon. Be very aware of your own psychic sensitivity, your own psychic connection to energy and spirit. Stay grounded, stay in a place of love, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, always stay in a place of love, always keep yourself grounded, and until we meet again next month, if not sooner, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my insights, my visions of these energies and what's coming for us. So stay in a place of love. Blessings. Namaste.